Hello, welcome to day 19 of our Summer Connection Challenge. Today is an interesting topic, and today we're encouraging parents to share their work with their teenager. I have a question for you. Have you ever taken time to share with your teenager what you actually do? Beyond, I have a meeting or I'm tired from work. Because let me tell you, sometimes we separate work from home. There's an extent of demarcation, but it's you. They're not two separate worlds. It's a continuous thing. The truth is that our children will always be watching us and they'll be learning from us. They're picking our attitude towards responsibility, our attitude in work ethic, and even with a sense of purpose. If all they hear is how boring and difficult and challenging your work is, how are they going to ever enjoy work? If we're always complaining about our boss and that coworker, how are they going to learn problem solving? If we don't come back with, oh, I fixed that problem with that coworker, or I was able to navigate it in a kind or positive way. Because our children are, there's one thing, I know they say monkey see, monkey do, but the thing is, they do what they see, how much more than what they hear or say. So, for me, when I was growing up, my parents involved us in their work. And to find out what they actually do, you have to get the book, Practically Connected Parenting, 21 Ways to Create Timeless Memories in the Teenage Years. But I will tell you the lessons that sharing their work left for me. And this is chapter 19 of the book and page 147. The lessons learned in my dad's laboratory and my mom's classroom transcended the boundaries of chemistry and education. They nurtured curiosity, determination, and a profound joy of learning. These early seeds, sown with care, continue to flourish within me today, guiding my approach to work, teaching, and raising my children. Like Benjamin Franklin was acclaimed to have said, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn." So let's deep dive into sharing our work. For me personally, I involve my children in my work, whether they're editing for me or they're giving me their teenage perspective. It makes a difference when they know, what is mom doing? Well, I think my first job is being a mom. But beyond that, I know on Mother's Day this year, they made me a handmade card, as they often do. But this year they wrote something very interesting. And one of it was, "Mom, I see how you work hard on your business, on your job." So that's already telling you they are watching. And they're telling you what they are learning. So maybe today, one challenge before we get to the challenge is, ask your children, what do I do? And what does that teach you? So let's think about different life skills that working or sharing our work with our children actually teach them. Number one, critical thinking. I'm going to be using my notes here so I don't forget anything. When you invite your child into your world, whether you're tackling a project, solving a challenge, or making a decision, they begin to understand how to evaluate situations, weigh options, and think beyond surface level answers. They learn to ask why, how, and what if. Instead of just following directions, they're using their brain to connect with the assignment. This skill becomes essential in academics, in friendships, and future careers, helping them to become thoughtful and solution-focused individuals. You don't want them to just go with the flow, because this critical thinking helps them to take initiative. And initiative is a huge thing. I mean, if things are all over the house and your children pass by it every day and they don't put it in the right place, you know initiative needs to be developed. I know, because I left a cup on the table. I'm trying to test their initiative. And I came back and met it there. So I told them, you see, this cup is not supposed to be here. If you were in the kitchen and you've seen it all day, is that you ask, why is this cup here? Or you put it away. Number 2, collaboration. Work involves teams, deadlines, and people skills. By involving your team in even the very small part of your work, they begin to practice listening, sharing ideas, and working toward a common goal. And all this play out in real life. They learn to respect the differences of others' opinions. They take initiative and they contribute meaningfully, even when it's not their project. And when I say, when it's not their project, because I was designing a bookmark for my book launch, and I was asking them their opinion. So it's not their project, it's mom's project, but their opinion matters. And I took into consideration what they were sharing with me. So these lessons mirror real life for the family dynamics and prepare them for successful teamwork in school, in their future career, and everywhere else that they find themselves working in a team situation. So that is number 2, collaboration. Number 3, confidence. I see books, I say how to raise a confident kid. You can't send children to school to learn confidence. It happens in this day-to-day connection, and on today's, especially through today's topic, sharing your work with your teenager. So when you want to build confidence in your children, when your teen contributes an idea and sees it implemented, or even just seriously considered, it sends a powerful message to them. It says, I have something valuable to say. So it means that my voice matters. Do you know what it does for them? It builds self-esteem. And they'll be able to speak up more in situations. They'll trust their own instincts, and they'll believe in their unique perspective. Confidence grows through real experiences, not just compliments. So this day-to-day, school doesn't have enough opportunity to practice this, but day-to-day interaction with our teenagers at home, involving them in our work, is one way to teach them confidence. Number 4, problem solving. Your work is full of real-life challenges, tight deadlines, unexpected changes, tough decisions. When your children see you calm, in this day of work from home, and your children are listening to you, maybe in a Zoom meeting, are you calm? Or are you the one that is so frantic when something goes wrong in the office and you are just lashing it out on Zoom? I hope not, because your children are seeing, are you staying calm? Are you analyzing the issue carefully? Are you taking action to resolve it? Because they start learning what it means to face problems with courage and creativity. Where do you learn courage? You don't learn courage by going to jump or maybe 6 feet somewhere. You learn courage by the day-to-day challenges that you face and how you address it. Again, they are mirroring what we are exemplifying at home. Number 5 lesson that sharing our work teaches our teenagers is responsibility. Involving your child in your work teaches them that what you do matters and their contribution matters too. I know that's what my parents did for us. My mom, as an educator, how she takes seriously her job. She was an elementary school principal when I knew her actively, and when I was old enough to understand what she was doing, and she would involve us in what she was doing, her meetings with her teachers. She would even take things for refreshments for their meetings. We'll help her pack up her car, and she was a teacher and an entrepreneur, pretty much. But she involved us in her work. And my mom also liked gardening. Hers went beyond gardening, honestly. She had a large land and she would farm. She would farm potatoes, she would farm corn. I remember Saturday mornings sometimes. Remember I said do your chores together. The other day, so the day we're not doing chores together at home, we're on her farm. Well, I guess that's also a chore. So we go very early before the sun comes out to her farm to go and till the soil and plant, or sometimes to go and weed, or when it's harvest time to go and harvest. So, oh my goodness, my mom, she's so resourceful. So we're talking about responsibility. So whether it's organizing a file, like the other day I told you, my son, I assigned him to organize our stationery drawer. So he organized 4 out of the 7. So this morning I said, son, you still have 3 left. So I need you to finish it because I'll have a meeting this morning, a conference this morning. So I told him before I come back, finish the remaining 3 drawers. And so giving feedback on the design. Literally last night, the final design for my bookmark, I was just sharing with my daughter. I said, Mom, this one doesn't make sense to me. I said, okay, so what makes sense? And she told me what language to use. So I kind of tweaked it, before I sent off the design for printing. So feedback on design, or even helping with errands related to your work. Errands related to my work. My son went with me to go and pick up my banner. And so taking them along, seeing you do your business. So, I mean, in essence, I'm a mom and I'm an entrepreneur. And, so they see what I do. Or my older daughter, I said, can you help me format this on Canva? And so I left my computer for her and she was helping me format it. So related to your work, help them understand the value of responsibility. They learn to follow through, they become dependable, and they take ownership. So because when I tell my daughter, do this, I need your help with formatting this, she takes ownership for it. So it's no longer mom's job or dad's thing. It begins to tell them that they are contributors. They are not just bystanders. Because when you involve them in your work, even at their office, when they grow up, they begin to see, oh, I can collaborate with people. People like say, let me give you my 2 cents. But sometimes it's not just 2 cents, but it's something that goes a long way to help that person achieve their project. So so the 5 things that we consider today, that when you share your work with your teenager, number 1, it teaches critical thinking. Number 2, it teaches collaboration. Number 1, critical thinking. Number 2, collaboration. Number 3, confidence. Number 4, problem solving. And number 5, responsibility. So when we put all these skills together, it's shaping a well-rounded young person who is confident, who is thoughtful, and ready to make impact in life. One of the most beautiful parts of doing this is when they see their ideas actually show up in my work, their faces light up. Say, oh wow, mom did that. You're telling them, mom considered my contribution. You're telling them that your voice matters, that your idea is valuable. Because like when I was trying to even decorate the table for my book launch, I was just practicing it at home. My son was asking me, Mom, is this how your table will look at the event? I said, yes, I'm practicing. And then my daughter said, Mom, you're changing the colors. I said, yes, because I needed something to coordinate with my banner. So you can see how just involving them, hearing their advice goes a long way to teach them these 5 skills that we have mentioned. So today's challenge for us as parents is this: invite your child into your work world, even just a little. I know I'm not saying that if you're a Secret Service, tell them what you're doing, because that would be counterintuitive. But what I'm saying is share your work with them in a way that it will teach them those 5 skills. What are the 5 skills again? Critical thinking, collaboration, confidence, problem solving, and responsibility. It could be a conversation about why your work actually matters, what your work is doing for the general public. Like I tell my children, what am I doing? I mentor, I coach I mentor teenagers. I train in leadership classes, leadership for teenagers. I also coach parents of teenagers. I coach families on communication dynamics to improve their connection as a family. I trained, like the other day, they saw me training an international organization. I had to wake up because the time difference was 8 hours. They saw me wake up at 5:30 a.m. to be on Zoom to train this company on alternative dispute mechanisms. And that was a 2-day training. So they see me wake up so early to get this done even before they're ready for school. So ask their opinion. Help them see how to solve problems. In fact, let them shadow you. Because if you're working at home and you need something, let them help you out. So what we are doing in these moments of involving them is we are planting seeds. Yeah, talking about my mom's farm. We're planting seeds because eventually harvest time comes and we go back and harvest. You may not see your harvest time right now, but when they grow up and they leave your home, you'll be glad you prepared them for real life. That is when the harvest shows. You're not just exposing them to your career, you're inspiring confidence and shaping their character. So, my question for you is, how are you planning to involve your teenagers in your work today, or this week, or this month? Also, you know something? I just remembered a story. There was one year as a teenager, my dad had to tour 5 different plants for his organization, and they were all over the country. I went with him on that trip. So I could see him go into meetings. Sometimes I have to wait in the lobby. Sometimes I wait in the whatever house we were staying in the city where he was having those meetings. But I see him go all day and do his work. I just remember, it just left something in me. My dad is very hardworking. So this is what we're teaching. You don't want to raise a child that grows up and doesn't work hard. That would be a liability for the wife if that's the man, and it would be a liability for the husband if that's the woman. So we want to raise children that have good work ethic, that have character, that have balance. And I'll close today with something because anyway, I will always go back to my engineering. I mean, it's interesting how that always shows up in everything I do, even though I'm not actively in that space right now. But there's something here in the book. Well, you gotta get the book. I can't read everything. But on page 11 of Roman numerals in the introduction, when we say share your work, we're talking about that connection. Let me let you know what happens. Connection leads to continuity. So it's from my book. And that's how legacy is passed on. Just like Sir Isaac Newton once said, if I have seen farther, it is by standing on the shoulder of giants. When scientists build on past discoveries, they refine and improve them, making them even more useful and relevant for their times. In the same way, when families stay connected, in today's case, sharing your work with them, with your children, in the same way, when families stay connected, they pass on values, faith, character, building on the good of one generation and continuing it to the next. And it happens one activity, one conversation, one memory at a time. So we're on day 19. Imagine how far we've come on this journey. We have 2 more to go. But that's just it. One conversation, one activity, one memory at a time. And that is how everything compounds to impart legacy into our children, into the next generation. That is how connection happens, and that is how continuity happens. Because you know something, if we do not connect with our children, what this generation has accomplished does not get passed to the next generation. So as humans, we'll be failing our children, because scientists don't fail each other. They build on the discoveries of the past. improve on them to make it even better. You know how the computer started. It used to fill a whole room, giant computers. And you see now, it's right here on the palm of our hand. That is continuity in discovery. You see how the TV was, oscilloscope. I still remember oscilloscope in college. But look at it right now. It's not a flat screen. Everything is in there. So the same way, when we are connected with our children in a meaningful way, in fact, as in regards to our work, we are building continuity from one generation to the next. So I so appreciate you for joining me. If you haven't yet connected all these weeks, you can go on my Facebook page, Remi.Ayodele, and catch up on the topics we have been covering. And I'll give you a teaser for tomorrow. So tomorrow is day 20, and the title is Take Your Teens on a Date. We'll find out tomorrow. Have a most beautiful day, and if you haven't gotten your copy yet, Practically Connected Parenting, 21 Ways to Create Timeless Memories in the Teenage Years. You can find it on Amazon.com, Amazon.ca if you live in Canada, Amazon.co.uk if you're in the UK, and Amazon.yourcountry. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a most beautiful day. Bye-bye.